Oh yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic today. We'll be analyzing the situation for the price of Bitcoin. We've got some scenarios on the higher time frame. We are looking for some kind of a reversal to the downside. Lower time frames does look pretty interesting. We could get one more bounce. Could we claim the local highs? That is what we are going to be discussing in the live stream, guys. So make sure to destroy the like button on your way in if you do enjoy the content, guys. Let's go right away and say hello to the beautiful community as we dive in here through the price analysis of Bitcoin. Of course, we'll be focusing on what is going on here, right? It does look a little bit weak. It's kind of rolling over. Yesterday we were talking about it is a bit messy, guys. This range is a little bit messy. I like the idea that we could hit the highs again before we actually correct or break down impulsively from this zone. However, I was discussing in the pro community, also with Devil today. I did like the idea that we do have a good chance to claim those highs again, regardless if it's going to be a double top or if it's going to break out. However, there is a chance for this to be the high as well, right? And well, that's not any good. That's not helping out, is it? You saying this could be the high, it can't be the high. It might, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Come on. Tell me some more, give me some more accuracy. I cannot believe it. Anyway, it is what it is, right? You know, I do like the idea that we could fetch this high before getting a significant move down, but I have to accept, based on a few scenarios, you know, I think it's a little bit of a 50-50, guys, if the top is in locally here or not. On the higher time frame, we are looking for a reversal. I have to say, now the battle is, do we claim the high again, or do we roll over from here? Right now, and it's you know, on the higher time frame, we are very much analyzing the situation that we are looking for a rollover. Okay, very likely. It has the highest probability when you zoom out. When you zoom out and you have this pump from the lows of Monday at $84,000, right? You got your initial stages, you got the big pump with high volume, and then you get the end stages before you reverse down, right? Kind of what happened, you know, from the middle of this consolidation, right? The price moves up, it has a little bit of sideways momentum. You got your first initial pumpy actions, you get the big move up with high volume, and then the choppiness till you actually take the dump, right? You're looking for that three-wave move, third, fourth, fifth, and we have it here on the higher time frame. The overall question is, we got a bit of a messy structure here on the 15 minutes, which is going to be very entertaining because it's good for the education and for the risk management. I have to say, es muy bueno, muy importante. But on the higher time frame, I have to say, right, well, zooming out 1 hourly time frame, you got your first initial pump, the big volume pump, and then you're kind of grinding here to get exhausted to get a move down, right? And obviously it will be our mission in the next coming days to detect if this is going to be corrective or are we going to nuke down very aggressively. Now, we do have next week the FOMC interest rate decision. It's an important week next week. And, I've been taking a look at, other content, talking about what happened in the previous months when we had the interest rate cuts, interest rate decision. And, we've been getting some dumps throughout the previous interest rate decision. The one in October, end of October, was followed by a movement down after getting a bounce. Also, the one here back in September, we did get a move down, but ultimately we bounced very powerfully later on, right, in the weeks after that. So it's just an interesting take. I've seen some people talking about this on X. It's the trap before the interest rate decision. We're just going to roll back down, which, technically speaking, on the higher time frame, it would make sense because the priority on the higher time frame is that we are downtrending and we kind of at the limit zone for that impulsive move to the downside okay, in a 5-wave structure, right? When we do analyze the main trend, the main scenario, it is the main one till it's proven otherwise. This is where we go to the 15-minute time frame and try and, you know, detect the internal movements. Anyway, yesterday we were talking about, it was a little bit messy. We knew that the range could chop around, right? However, the probabilities yesterday based on this move, 3-wave down, overlap the lower high. This is highly likely going to take out this high. That was, you know, what we were discussing yesterday. Yesterday, the probabilities were to take out that high sooner rather than later. We could range, we could claim the low again, but ultimately, what we're looking at is to get back above 94K to test the high, right? Regardless if we break it or not. You know, testing the high is the highest probability based on yesterday's price action that we had locally, right? Obviously, after, you know, the next day, what we see on the price of Bitcoin is that we you know, eventually the highest probability scenario based on the price action that we had yesterday was taking out the high again. So let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. We got a good one here, guys. Smash up that like button. Let's get some people in. We are going to be analyzing, most importantly, what the heck is going on in this range. What are the probabilities? And I have to say, it's a little bit of a mixed one, guys. I'm sorry. Today's a little bit of a mixed one. I would love, you know, I'm currently in no trades at all, guys. 0 trades at the moment. Where we at now, just like we discussed yesterday. I mean, I need to go through the comment section. I know, guys, but there's just some information that is really nice. You know, we are coming down to the previous day value area low. You know, previous day value areas, they are important, right? You know, maybe not too many people take it into consideration, but, you know, we were discussing that we're probably not going to break down successfully from the previous day value area high. This was yesterday, right? We do have a chance that even though, you know, zigzag up, pump up in a flat, you know, you could claim those lows, but it would be nice for a double bottom. Anybody that wanted to get into a long here, I didn't get into the long, guys, but some people might have, you know, felt aggressive and confident that we are going to take out those local highs, as mentioned yesterday with the price action. And we like, you know, the range could continue. You know, we could claim that low again because you could form a flat here. That is acceptable. I mean, local SFP here would have been a good option, or higher low. We did form a higher low from that wick low, right? If you want to put a stop loss here, you get stopped out, you get a reaction, you re-enter again, right? Just need to manage risk just in case you break down. Anyway, my point here with the value levels, we are at previous day value area low. We are just holding the previous day value area low, just gently just tapped it now in the last few minutes. There is a potential triangle formation, I have to say. Worried about the bearish case, 1 2 1 2 2 boom, and then nuke down, right? We always need to be aware of that because it could happen. You could be forming a bit of a triangle structure here, running triangle. I would say it is acceptable. It is acceptable to speculate on this, especially when we are at support. This is support, right? You do have that previous day value area high, value area low. Which is sitting where the golden pocket is. You know, that golden pocket from the pivot low of the range to the pivot high of the range. You know, he's kind of trying to do a tough job in holding here. It is trying to hold it. Golden pocket with the previous day value area low. And, you know, your bullish case scenario for this range to continue to take out this high. Man, we don't have in this range too many options. If we were to break previous day value area low, you know, there is a little bit of an issue here, which is, you know, getting back inside of this range of the last few days. I mean, you do have that point of control, naked point of control right there at 91k, but yeah, you know, this is a zone that if this range is going to continue, I would prefer to this area to hold actually. Sometimes we get these days, guys. Sometimes we do get these days, which is a little bit Sometimes it is better just to sit on your hands. I have to say, I'm in no trade at the moment. I kind of felt a little bit interested here at this golden pocket, but I've realized a few things. I've been having a chat with Devil, doing some analysis together, and he was pointing out, you know what, there is a possibility that the fifth 5-wave move to the upside could be finished. It could be finished. There is a possibility. And obviously, that's when you need to be a little bit aware of the situation. Let's go quickly through comment section. We'll discuss the higher time frame, 4-hourly time frame downtrend, 1-hourly time frame uptrend. Is this a 1-2-1-2? Is it an ABC? What resistance do we have? Do we roll from here? What are the next trading plans that we can get prepared for in the next coming hours and days? That's what we are going to do on the live stream. Comment section, it is about time. It is about time. Dennis Fetters from Abu Dhabi. Thanks, Andy, for the update. Much love to you, my man from Abu Dhabi. Let's go. Staffer One, the legend himself here, giving love and support. Much love, my man. Slap the like button. Legends. Much love to you, brother, okay? Here I am waiting for the best educational content from the legend himself. Hello, Andy. ADB, much love. Toddy, good morning. Elliot Wavers. Or good afternoon, or good day, whatever makes sense. Toddy, much love to you, my man. Sing Games, long time no see. Smash up the like button. Let's go. Suk, hello. Simple 3 Jack, what's going on, brother? Hello, Maestro. Much love to you. Can't read this. I can't read it. Alexander, how are you doing? Andy, you are a legend. Can't stop thinking about you, saying you might leave us next year. Please don't stay. Don't worry, my man. I'll be, as long as we're getting engagement, we're getting people, and people are here. Well, eventually we'll stick around as long as it takes. Hit the like button. So much love, Thomas. Nice to see you, Thomas. Can you take a look at hype after BTC? We can potentially do that. Okay, I know BTC, we do stick around for 30 minutes, even an hour on Bitcoin, because there's too many things to discuss. And we are here to, I'm here to trade Bitcoin. I'm here to trade Bitcoin. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes there's indecision. Sometimes I feel like I just want to go to sleep and check the price tomorrow and miss whatever move happens, regardless if it's going to be up or down, because there'll be more information tomorrow, which is going to give a little bit of more clarity. Hopefully, right? That's what we do as technical analysts and traders. Much love to everybody, okay? Stephen, the man himself, here he is. Does the previous FVG from the recent pump come into focus? Capitulation? That is a very good question, my man. We can discuss that. Simon Jones, much love. Andy, rate cuts, bets have strengthened for next week. Then BTC bullish cycle continues. It is a possibility. I mean, come on. We need to go with the waves. We need to go with the general trend. We need to go. For the moment, looking at the price of Bitcoin, I have to be honest. This kind of movement, right, is, gearing up for a possible reversal down. Okay, a little bit of a larger pullback, regardless if it breaks down. Okay, or if it corrects down, right? Depends if we do get that movement down in a bit of overlappy structure throughout the next coming days, or we might even pump from here, guys. It is a very, very difficult zone for me today. Okay, I have to say, a little bit of too much noise. It's not an easy one here in this range, but if you ask me, this is commonly the zone where the price tops out. Okay, it's commonly the zone where the price tops out, because the highest amount of volume on the move since Monday has been in the middle, right? It's been in the middle. And obviously when you get this choppiness into some resistance zones, then eventually you just need to be a little bit aware. Catching the highs here was we're in the range, right? We're still in the range till it breaks, right? Range break. When is the range break going to happen? What plans do we have on this range break? Because this range will break at some point, right? Is it going to be up? Is it going to be down? You know, that's what is a little bit confusing right now with the Elliot wave counts. There's a little bit of a 50-50 situation, but the main scenario here is, do we roll from here, or do we pump one more time to claim the highs and then we roll over, right? Which is a little bit, of this, guys, right? I am going to count this movement from this range, from this consolidation, right? I ain't counting from here. We got the movement up and a little bit of sideways range. This is a range, we like it or not. And then you have the momentum starting from here or here. It doesn't really matter, but you got this momentum. The big wave up happens here, right? You build up after the range and you have the big move here. Here it's where it chops. And I could say that we could be right now at this point, and we could create one more high and then roll over, right? Or the high could be in, right? It's a little bit tricky. Last week we were talking about a sniper short at $93,000, right? It was a beauty of an SFP right there. I did short this. I added to the position. Eventually I'm out of that position. Same as another SFP that we had here from this pivot. I'm out. So if the price rolls over from here, I have to say I missed the short. Do miss shorts as well. Do miss longs. It's part of the game. But that's the overall question right now. But your higher time frame bias is not changing. You are looking, make sure to be prepared for a reversal, because with the information that we have from the pump of Monday, the information that we have is that a reversal down is cooking, right? And we're going to discuss the 15-minute time frame, because there is that possibility that this zone could be still the wave 4 and we get one more high. So instead of detecting this as the 5 wave move to the upside, right, maybe instead of this, it is this, right, where we still have one more wave to the upside. That's the tricky part. But after this, eventually, we are looking for that movement down. We are looking for a movement down here. So that's what we're going to get to into this live stream. Okay, we're going to be focusing on what the heck is going on here, guys. Not easy. It is not an easy little range. But yeah, we can definitely zoom out and obviously speculate on the bullish and the bearish case scenario. And hello to everybody. Much love. You need to keep streaming, bro. Much love. Of course I will. No worries. I love you to the 1 million Bitcoin price and back to $1. Will never happen. What's your capital, brother? What's your capital? Well, yeah, I mean it's enough. Let's leave it that way. It's enough. What kind of question is that? Is that like, how much money do you have? Man, come on. Never disclose how much you have to anybody, just as a personal, non-financial advice. Come on, guys, let's print. Dubai rent ain't cheap. That is true. That is true. Yeah, villa where I'm renting is not cheap at all. What do you think of the bull moon today? It has been 75 to 80% profitable since April last year. Man, let's just for entertainment purposes. I mean, yeah, we can zoom in later on. I mean, the higher time frame hasn't changed, guys, right? We are downtrending. We are speculating on, do we have an ABC here, right? This one right over here. And we already, the low is in. Of course, if that is going to be the case, we're looking for a 1-2, 1-2. Third wave later on in the next coming weeks, 4-5. Right, here we at. Bullish momentum continues for the next coming weeks, entering into 2026. bearish case, I have to say it's possible. You know, this movement up has many chances, many chances. Obviously, the trend is down still, so you know we're getting a little bit of hopium locally. You know, for the 80k to be the low, but the potential is there, right? And when we look at potentials, right? We look at bullish and bearish potentials. We can have a favorite scenario. And the bearish case is, you know, literally, you know, there's another bearish case I can arguably discuss. There is a way of fitting the third wave here, and that the fourth wave does go slightly higher. But that the downtrend continues. This would be my favorite scenario. Just fits in a little bit better, where we are looking for a rejection below 97k, which is your invalidation for this case, right? Because a wave 4 from your wave 3 cannot hit the golden pocket. There's another one, which is this one, but we'll get to this one once the other invalidation is hit, okay? If it is going to be hit. So higher time frame possibilities that the low could be in, they are there, but the trend is down. The biggest amount of volume happened in this move, which has been the largest move, right? You got that increasing volume in this movement, which is giving you the option eventually to form that 4 or 5, right? Just continue the downtrend from all-time high. More locally, what we do have, and we'll get to the point right now on the 15-minute, guys. We'll get to the point. But on the 1 hourly time frame, what we do have is bullish case scenario. This has been a wave 1. Your 3-wave correction, whoever longed in this zone, guys, congratulations. Very good long. I would be thinking about exiting here. Obviously, you took out the highs. It's a good zone. Whoever longed on Monday, looking for that local double bottom to hold this range, to claim above these levels and maintain. You know, the plan was to maintain some of that trade open and no shorts to be taken anyway, guys, in this area if we break out right from that fair value gap. Right, there was a shorting zone right there, but your stop loss is tight. It's tight. Always manage to risk the same percentages on your trades, right? Don't go into a short with 20% of your capital and then 2% on a long. They need to be very similar in size, guys. Okay, that's a very common mistake as well that newish traders do. You know, they just add to positions and they just randomly get into a 10% long, and then when they catch an epic short, they'll go in with, you know, 1.5%, and it's like, man, use the same percentage always, because if not, you're not going to move forward. Don't, you know, flip-flop with your percentage of what you're risking, because you're never going to grow like that. I can tell you already. Cross that out of the chart right now. Always trade with the same percentage range. You can, you know, 1 to 3%. If you have $10,000, you know, you're risking 300, 200, 300 on a trade. Don't go into another trade risking 2,000. You know, it's just not, it's not going to work. You know, you'll end up, you know, the stop losses will end up hitting you on your bigger trades, and, you know, it will offset your good trades if you're using smaller percentage, right? Have the same balance. 1 to 3% max, so you can actually slowly scale right to the upside. Anyway, that's just a little tip, I guess. I mean, I think it is quite common sense, but it's very common, a very common mistake that beginner traders do, right? They risk all in or half 50% on their trades, right? Keep the same percentage on each trade, guys. Same percentage range, right? Not too different. It's an important tip, guys, to really just go with it, because it's the only way. It's the only way. Seriously, there is no other way. If you're going to flip-flop with your percentages on what you risk on every trade, you're destined to fail in the long term. It's just it's the way it is. That's it. We ain't going to talk about it anymore. It's the way it is. If you don't want to accept it, then, you know, there's nothing I can do. 1, 2. That is one of the scenarios that is very much a possibility. It will all be said with the movement down that happens right? At some point, regardless if the high is in or at 95, 96K, the high is in, right? We get one more high or not. The movement down is going to be very, very crucial to understand in the next coming days. And that's why it was crucial to understand this movement down. Yeah, of course, we are always going to have a bearish case, but we are going to have a bullish one. And if this has the potential to be the low locally, right? As a three-wave structure. So, that's when we do get that movement, right? And we can detect the possible reversal, right? Out of speculation of a three-wave move down, and it's coming at its end stages, just like here. I mean, we want to look for longs, right? Regardless if it's only going to be for a little pump, we're going to be defensive, or if it's going to be, moon mission after that. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see, right? It is detectable. We can detect based on the information that we have on the chart. So, is this scenario possible? Absolutely. Why not? We have the structure. It is uptrending from the 21st of January. Then of course of November. That's the bullish case scenario. We need to understand that is very much a possibility. Then there is the ABC, just a regular three-wave structure. We got your A wave, 3 corrective structure in a B. And then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, regardless if fifth wave is in or not, or we push one more time and then we get the reversal. 3-wave structure in a very big downtrend from all-time high, right? That's what it is very much a possibility. From the big drops down, am I in the middle here? From the big drops down that we've had from all-time high, the bounces ended up, you can count this, guys, you can look at it for yourself, ended up in a 3-wave structure. The big move down here, this, which we did identify very well, guys, we did talk about this short on a stream. You can check it. It's on Tuesday the 11th or the 10th of November. We detected that local double top to roll over with a potential of claiming the lows here at 98K, right? So this was a 3-wave move. You can see it on the chart, right? Ended up with a 3-wave bounce. Downtrend continue. Here, we do have a 3-waver, guys. We are extending here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we get one more push? Is the high in? It's something. It hasn't been easy for me for an entry at the moment with this range. Hasn't been. I am interested. I might miss the short, at least in the short term. I might miss it, but there will be a way of identifying. If it is going to take out 80,500. Because after a 3-wave move to the upside, bear with me, you listen up, you will get that push down and the bounces either in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or a 1, 2, 1, 2, boom, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? This is what happened in this movement down. We also identified that the probabilities here of forming a double 1, 2 to the downside was very, very high, right? So, if I miss this short from current price levels, I will be happy to maybe joining later on in the next couple of days. We will get some information that will tell us, is the movement down highly likely impulsive or is it going to be corrective, right? There will be ways of detecting the highest probability. If it is going to be very choppy and very corrective style, we'll have to be looking to jump into some longs, because if this ends up being a double 1, 2, we could pop out throughout December, Santa rally, baby. And we want to participate in that Santa rally, right? So yeah, we'll get some clarity in the next coming days. regardless. And now that, what is more interesting, I'm not afraid of missing the short, right? Sometimes it sucks, but it doesn't really matter, right? We can participate later on. But yeah, as mentioned, if we do get that movement down, I would just be happy to look for the bounce and analyze the bounce. Okay. Just no more to it. What is more interesting, I would be looking for catching the short on the pump. If we take the local highs, then yeah, it's game on. I'm going to be a top catcher, guys. This is the moment to catch tops, at least for me. First of all, I need to remind, I keep forgetting, guys. I need to remind, my goodness, that nothing in this video is financial advice, guys. Okay? It's muy importante, because not YouTube is going to get this spanking, weapon out and spank my bum and say, you are not a financial advisor, which I'm not. People should know that already, right? We don't talk about predictions or any opportunities, because my content is only education. It's only my opinion. I got a strike a few weeks ago, guys, and I couldn't upload for 7 days. And man, make sure to understand this, guys. I know you do, most of you do, but I just need to show it, right? Because then if they strike me, hey, I said this, I need to tell them that I was vocal about it. Anyway, if we get a pump, I have to say, if we move down from here, I likely missed the short. I mean, there was some internal zones to get into the short, but I didn't like them. I didn't talk about them in the Legends Pro. It was just, we did hit the previous day value area high, just gently tapping that previous day value area high. Would you say that's an acceptable short? I didn't like it personally, so I did not get into this short. But it was the previous day value area high, was resistance, bouncing previous day point of control today, and resistance at previous day value area high. Man, previous day value levels, they are something. They are something. And right now we're just at previous day value area low. And there is that option of the triangle. There is an option here of a running triangle situation that could pop out. Okay. So, anybody that's feeling a bit brave, we are at support. We are at previous day value area low. And these levels do provide reactions. They do provide support, as they do provide resistance, as we can see here. Chop, 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 reverse. This could be a chop fest, and then it reverses, right? So zooming out, sorry guys, I'm probably doing a lot of flip-flop talking here and not having an organized situation of what's the scenarios that we are looking for. But bear with me, guys, bear with me. Why it would be interesting for me to, look for a sniper short if we pump, give or take, to 95k, maybe 95 point, maybe 96k. I need to have some levels. I need to have a plan ready. I would be happy if we were to get that pump, because if we move down, I'll be like, I knew that we were going to reverse at some point, because this is a possible 5-wave structure that's coming to its end stages. Now, I prefer the pump to take out the highs, which is still very much a valid possibility, as I do understand that we are looking very likely to reverse from this price action of the pump of Monday. I would be ready to look for some sniper trades, baby. That's what we do, right? We talked about these pivot highs, last week. Even before that, you SFP'd from that level. Did anybody get into that SFP, right? You got a few minutes to get into this. You tap it and you reject. If not, we had an option here, which was very good, guys. This is the beauty, right? We talk about a short at a major level, and then on Saturday, last Saturday, we talked about the short at the previous day value area high. It's an option to get in. If you break previous day value area high, give a bit of room for stop. But if you start breaking up, get out, right? Just get out, kind of thing. So that's the beauty, right? You got the option to catch the high, or you got the option to get the move down and the bounce, and then get the movement down. So that conclusion here is, if this is the high, man, it was difficult. I didn't catch it, I have to say. So I'll have to wait for the move down and the bounce. That's where I need to identify a level of resistance to try and participate before that third wave move down happens, right? Kind of right? We detect that a major rejection point as an entry. We talk about how you get into these trades. You need to tap the level, get above it, get back below it, trigger that sniper trade. Or if not, wait for the movement down, get the bounce, hit resistance, then you got that one right over here. So if the price does move up from this point, bear with me here, guys, the levels are going to be taken. If we hit that level in the next coming hours and we reject, we're gonna pull out the live stream and we're gonna say, guys, we hit the level as the trading setup that we talked about yesterday, and it happened. Right? So bear with me, guys. You need to pay attention because these are plans, right? And I'm here to help you out on how to create those plans and understand the price action. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. This is a lot of uncertainty zone for me. It is not easy. This is not an easy area at this moment. And we're going to discuss that later on the 15-minute zooming in, why this could be the high, why it could not be the high as well. And you're still in the fourth wave and you're going to get one more push up. Yeah. If that is the case where I'm confused, I'd rather sit on my hands. I want to protect my capital. I'm not sure if what you want to do. We all want to make gains, but I don't want to get into a trade where I'm not sure. I don't want to do that. I want to be pretty sure and have a good risk management on a trade that I get into. But this is not the kind of zone that is giving me that chance. So, what you do after that is either, wait for the breakout and have a plan here, or wait for the move down, which will get a bounce at some point. And that's the bounce that we need to analyze and take a decision, right? If it is going to be bearish, or if this movement down is going to be, a corrective structure, right? And there's lots of overlap. We'll detect that, guys, in the next coming days. Not to worry, right? That's what we do. This range here right now is, it's not giving me an easy ride, I have to say. So, okay, well, let's just speculate that the price does maintain here the range and it ends up spiking up. What is the most important levels of resistance that the price could reject from, right? And how can the price move up hitting these local highs? The biggest levels of resistance, which were mentioned yesterday, but we'll repeat the process for any new people that are joining. We'll repeat the process. Of course, there's new people that are joining in that have no effing clue of what's going, what I'm talking about. So we need to cover that again. We got the anchored VWAPs. Anchored VWAPs. I don't believe in crypto, I can see from someone. Yeah. I seriously only trust Bitcoin in the long term. Rest of the cryptos are insane, massive. I do believe in Ethereum, I have to say. Chainlink, I believe in it, but man, it's at the end of the day, it's all speculation. It really is. The only one I trust really for the long term, this is why it's obviously the biggest portfolio holding, is Bitcoin. I think it's for most of the people anyway. So talking about the resistance, I was just reading the comment section of someone saying, I don't trust crypto. I don't believe in crypto. Yeah, I know, man. I get it. Who wants to believe in crypto when everything's, most of the cryptocurrencies have just been getting obliterated? Who's going to trust, right? Who's going to trust it? Anyway, going through the resistance levels, enough flip-flop talking, guys. It's about it. Enough is enough. Please, I need someone to tell me, shut up and just focus on Bitcoin. You're getting distracted. Anchored VWAP is, you know, a level that we do have just slightly above us. That's sitting at 95.2k approximately. There is a weekly naked point of control in this zone, which is absolutely golden. Weekly naked point of control. Hang on a second. Monday to Monday here, which is very, very nice indeed. I mean, these are one of the pivots that I would really want to watch out. Have some alerts. You do have anchored VWAP from the lower high of the 27th of October at 116k. Okay, major anchored these anchored VWAPs, guys, they do get respected. Okay, anchored VWAP from all-time high, as you can see when the price action was moving down, tap above the anchored VWAP and dump. They are important, right? They can break above eventually, but ultimately, you know, this was it got above it and then beneath it, but the first touch got respected here, as you can see. This anchored VWAP already was touched. You know, we struggled to get above it. You know, we actually, this was resistance. So that's totally fine to get above it, as you can see. Anchored VWAP from a major pivot lower high. Prove me that it is resistance, especially with a bit of Elliott wave theory combination here. It was absolutely beautiful for that rejection. So that same anchored VWAP is coming into $95,200 approximately. Where we have that, it's fine to get above it, but you're going to get some reactions, right? You're going to get some reactions here. You know, it didn't manage to break successfully. There was a lot of support here as well. We had the value area low of this trading range. It was tapped to perfection as well. High volume node, yeah, just a lot of resistance in this area. So it's a little bit of the point that I want to get it here to, right? If we squeeze out, and I am understanding based on this movement that it is highly likely that we are looking for a reversal because the biggest move happened here. You know, it's going to be challenging eventually on how to prepare this plan for people that are not, you know, experienced. But I will try and go into detail on the 15-minute time frame. So as you can see, you know, my main question right now is the local high in, or do we get that pump up and this ends up being a fourth wave, 4 and 5? You know, the fifth wave is not in. However, what I would like to see is the price to pop out from 94k, right? Get that pop up, you know, hit 95, even 96k, you know, get that squeeze out, come on, right? And that's the moment that you would really identify this as. Now it makes a little bit of more sense, you know, that we got a little bit of more symmetrical 5-wave structure. Now that would be the ideal scenario in an ideal world, which we do not live in, so it might not happen. So what can we say? But I know it can happen. You know, it would be nice for it to happen. And I would understand that you got some crucial levels of resistance. Weekly naked point of control coming in here at 95.7k, where we do have an SFP level. The ultimate level is this one for me, you know, technically speaking, right? Because sometimes you have the major pivot lower highs that which you wait and you just can't take it with waiting. But, you know, when they are hit, it's a major good zone for that rejection. This one happened yesterday. It did reject just above, you know, just over $1,500. So the next one, these two got respected. Rejection. You know, I would say that this is a really good one at 96k with the weekly naked point of control. You know, it's just a very, very solid SFP level. It's just this one, I like it. And it's especially really nice if we were to get a pump up here to attempt, you know, to break out the 94k level. It might not happen, guys. You know, maybe there is a chance for the high to be in. There is a chance, unfortunately, that the high is in. So it's all about understanding the possibilities, right? I know it is possible that the high is could be in, and it might just take the dump. I have to say, for me, this is a missed short. We can't get into every single trade. This would be a missed short for me. However, I would be attempting to catch the high, and it's going to be very, very important to see the movement up, right? You need that kind of 5-wave momentum and try and spot the 5th wave. You need some kind of a 5-wave development on the 15-minute time frame to detect that possibility, right? Especially, the SFP would be the ideal scenario eventually at 96k basically. It might not happen. Maybe the high is in already, right? So short-term time frame, there is a chance for the highs to be claimed. Higher time frame, we are looking for a reversal. So, depending on your trading plan, maybe some people were happy yesterday based on what we were discussing that, I'm happy to actually, have a little bit of a strategy that I add 1-2% on a short at 94, 95. I'm happy. I'm putting my stop loss at 97. I'm happy to scale into a little short here in this zone, right? With scaling in with 1-2%, maybe and just have a stop loss at 97, right? If this ends up rejecting in the next coming days, there is that chance, technically speaking, that this could be an ABC, and the target is below 80k, right? There is that possibility. It all depends on your strategy. I like to be very, 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 very specific with my entries, and because I am that kind of trader, I miss a lot of trades. But I'm happy, the ones that I get in, I'm happy to, I'm happy with the risk management, small little stop losses. It's all okay. I'm currently in no trade position. Got a stop loss here yesterday, but this was trying to attempt that high, small little stop loss. I'm in no trade at the moment, but I do want to get into a possible short. But I'm not in one, guys. I'm not in one. So, yeah. You need to be very, 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 it's, every trade is different. Every trader is different, right? Every trader is different. What can we say? But what I would like to see, me personally here, keep talking nonsense without any facts. Stop being naive, ignorant, please. Okay, that wasn't for me. We got a troll here in the comment section. Stop it or you're going to get kicked out. Stop it, guys. Hey, stop it now. Come on. What's all this? What's all this? I don't believe in clowns. Guys, come on. Play nice. All right? Or you're going to get kicked out. Come on, guys. Be nice to people. What's all this? Stop it. So anyway, just a little bit. I'm just trying to create here the plan that I would be interested in here, guys. Okay. It would be nice to get that movement to the upside for me anyway. And this is going to be a very interesting area. Okay. I think it's very, very crucial to understand a little bit of Elliott wave theory on the lower time frame, because my overall question, I know that this has a chance to be a wave 4 and we get one more push up. I know there is that chance, and the zone of interest is going to be above 95k for me to really try and short. And this is like catching, this is like sniper trading, this is like catching an SFP. The ideal level would be this one. This is going to be, you need to take a little bit of knowledge of Elliott wave theory, because how we get up there is going to be important. Because then we talk about a level for a short, but if you blast through the level, right, let's just speculate that you're moving up here, this ends up being a corrective structure, right? Regardless of triangle or whatever, right? You end up forming a triangle here and it ends up squeezing out, right? Bang. The moment that, you know, I'm interested in a short, but if you keep pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and it doesn't want to stop, guys, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this. Trying to short, you know, a massive wave 3 to the upside, which might extend to the 2.618 or whatever from your wave 1. I need to see, you know, some kind of a 5-wave development into the levels of resistance with a, you know, a kind of a wave 4 scenario. I need to see, you know, some kind of a 5-waver into the zone from this range, because I am not interested in shorting the first pump that hits those levels, anchored VWAP or this lower high, right, or the naked point of control. I'm not interested if it's pumping and pumping and pumping and after the breakout of 94k. I need the price to stop so I can detect that the price is, you know, losing steam in that 4th wave, and then the 5th wave is going to be the one that I would be interested in looking for the short position. You know, there's a few levels. You got that naked weekly point of control at 95.7 and that major pivot lower high at 95.9. But on the lower time frames, from the moment, you know, we start pumping and forming our first grinding structure to the upside, is going to be the moment, right, to start following the Elliott wave analysis on the lower time frame. I have to say, you know, this would be my ideal scenario. This might not happen, guys. This is a very, very confusing range where it has a chance for the high to be in. Okay, I have to be honest here. It's what I would like to see. It's what I would like to see to sniper the highs. I did attempt the sniper high here, guys. It got stopped out. But you know, right now I'm just not that interested. This is a very, very rangy scenario that could be a complex WXY. It could even be a running triangle, right? Which it's, you know, like a bull flag, right? It could be like a little bull flag that ends up popping out. So yeah, there is a way. Devil was explaining to me today, sharing obviously, you know, the points of views, because sometimes, you know, he sees some things that I don't see, and sometimes I see some things that he doesn't see, right? And it's always good. Me and Devil do chat, you know, many days of the week to discuss the analysis together and the probabilities. And you know, he was talking about, you know, that, you know what, he told me, you know, there, as this is extending in time quite a bit, you know, he was pointing out to me, you know, the base channel, and the base channel is actually pretty interesting. It's pretty good to understand the probabilities, because what you get in an impulse on Elliott wave theory is that you start your wave 1 and 2, and then obviously the 3rd wave gets out of the channel from your wave 1 and 2, right? Because you get the start of your wave 1 and 2 and the end of your wave 1, and you create this channel. And most commonly, your wave 3, okay, breaks the resistance of the channel. And then what is common for the wave 4 is to either bounce from the top of the channel or the mid-range of the channel. And it decreases the probability once a range, you know, starts getting into the lower base of the channel and even breaking it, which is this case. It's just a little bit of a guideline. This isn't everything, but it's a bit of a guideline on what is common for that wave 4. And when you go sideways and you break the base channel, you know, probabilities decrease, right? That it's based on timing, right? It's like finishing a momentum wave to the upside. It's not an invalidation, it's just a guidance based on probability. So I was like, you know what, it's definitely, I do get the point here. Eventually, it does impact the probabilities without a doubt. That the wave 4, that wave 5 could have been in already, right? Either here, which I don't like based on this, or actually this coming inside of the center of the channel, which is a common target for a wave 4, and then hit the highs. And this right over here was your 5-wave move up. And what you're building up right now is some, multiple 1-2s or a contracting diagonal just to get a weak bounce and then roll over. And I'm like, man, well, it's just there will be a moment on a range, guys, which happens, right? Every trader, no matter how much experience you have, there will be a moment that your bullish and bearish case are going to cross each other with several scenarios that are not invalidated yet. Right? And that's the moment that I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I prefer to wait for a move out of this zone. And this is why, I would give the chance that, that the wave 4 could be still developing. And if you do get that pop, man, I got some levels here that I like very much. And the biggest wave happened here. And I understand that this pump has low probability to go to Valhalla and get above $100,000. I know that is low probability. So, sometimes you need to think out of the box. If you don't like the range where we're in at right now, think out of the range. If you break up and your biggest wave happened here, I'm very much interested in looking at the 15-minute, even 5-minute time frame to see how we get up here. Because if it's going to lose momentum, you got the biggest wave in the middle and it's getting choppy, and I have a naked weekly point of control in this zone with a lower high on the 1 hourly, 4 hourly time frame. Yeah, that's going to be the zone that I'm going to be interested in, snipering the short. I'm going to give a bit of room for stop loss, but overall, if this is going to be the rejection, I'm in no rush. This could take many, many days to reject, but I know it's a pretty solid entry point based on the resistance, based on maybe a 5-wave being completed. The biggest wave is in the middle, so the probabilities of getting another extension on a 5th wave here is low probability. The extensive wave has been this one already, so having another extension that goes to infinite prices, is just low probability. You're going to end up peaking out at some point and not being as large as the 3rd wave. So where is that bigger probability rejection point? It is at 95.5 to 96k, where we have that weekly naked point of control, that lower high on the higher time frame, right? This pivot right over here. That is the zone. And when you combine it with a little bit of Elliott wave theory, you do realize that, this could be the end of the 5th wave peaking out at this point. And that just gives you a solid entry. And I mean, this is more swing trade related. Huh? This is like really projecting the possibility of going to 80k, which is going to take time. It's probably going to take a week or two. If this ends up being an ABC 3-wave structure, right? Which is obviously the higher time frame speculation, right? Is this going to be a 3-wave ABC movement or not? Well, I don't know. I know it has a possibility, right? And as traders, that's what we need to do. If the possibility is there and I can manage risk, I'm going to be happy to take it. So yeah, that's a little bit of the explanation here based on this range that's like, screw this range. We're going to lose this range at some point. And, on the other case, this is more for swing. This is a bit of a swing mentality, guys. Yesterday's range, I have to say, come on, man. If you feel like getting into a long position, we understood. I say we because as a community, guys, we understood that the highs here were likely going to be taken based on the local price action that we had. you know, all of the scenarios we're pointing out, we either range, but, you know, come up here like this or like that. It doesn't matter. Form a range and then take out the highs. But the probabilities were taking out, you know, 94K yesterday. I mean, I didn't long this, guys. I didn't long it. Okay, I didn't long it. If I would have done, I would have showed you the trade. Do you want to take this long here? Put a stop loss beneath the low. If you get stopped out, we gave the possibility, you know, you might be forming a flat here and then, you know, whatever, triangle sideways momentum and then take out the high later on. But, you know, if you get stopped out on that trade, you could attempt a double bottom. Yeah, not very interested in the range here that we had, even with yesterday's price action, even today. You know, it's just like, the high could have been this one. The high could have been this one. You know, there is a chance for a triangle development still. There is a chance of the high being in, and this is multiple 1-2s to the downside. It's just one of those ranges that we have too many scenarios that I just want to kind of stay away. So, you know, this would be the kind of dump that I would miss, guys. This is the kind of zone where I would not be positioned in a short to the downside, but the information that we do get to the downside is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Right, whenever that dump happens, regardless if we get one more high and then dump, or we dump from here, I can't speculate on how the dump is going to happen, but, you know, there will be a moment that we can detect in the next coming days from those highs. What is the highest probability, right? And can we spot the exhaustion at levels of support? If it is going to be a multiple 1-2, which is the bullish case scenario, let me get these anchored VWAPs out of the way. If it is going to be the bullish case scenario, which I do have somewhere here. If it is going to be the bullish case scenario in a multiple 1-2, you know, there's going to be time. You know, this did take 4 or 5 days to get up here. You are expecting, you know, at least 2-3 days of this correction in a wave 2, right? There will be time. I'm in no rush to jump into a long position on the dump. There's no rush at all. There will be a moment where the price will stop. I'll provide the updates. I'm here every day, guys, except the day and the weekend, and we can discuss a little bit of the scenarios. But there is moments where we can detect there's low probability here, guys, that we continue breaking down. And a local double bottom, reclaim of the low, is a good entry with stop loss at the low. There is moments with that information that we understand where the bounce could happen. So that's what I would be waiting for eventually with that movement down, right? You're moving down here, boom, boom, boom. If it ends up being multiple 1-2s, you snap down, boom, 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 3, 4, 5s. Corrective move to the upside. Man, I'm looking for the value area low of this range or the point of control. If we, you know, I would be happy to short that. If it's gonna stop at some point, if it ends up being an impulse down. You know, there will be some kind of a bounce. This could be detected as an impulse down, potentially. The zone to get into a short for me, if I didn't short the highs, is look no further. It's going to be in between 50% and the golden and the 7/8 Fibonacci. I need to see that impulse. I need to see that bounce, and obviously the levels of resistance should be closely paid attention to, right? Value area low of this zone, you know, might squeeze up to the point of control of this range, depending on where the low is. It might be with a 7/8. So yeah, this is it's the same thing that we talked about last week. You know, if you did not short here, guys, you got a short here possibly. And we did talk about the second short on Saturday, last Saturday. You can watch that video. You know, we talked about shorting 91.7K. to claim the lows at a bare minimum. And obviously, if it breaks down, then, happy days. You can collect a little bit more profits. So this is going to be the game plan. If it ends up being bearish and we roll down, I have to just remain a little bit patient to see that weakness and to understand the next, possible bounce. And, that's going to be the moment. It's going to take a few days, right? There's no rush into this. The information will be given in a few days, and that information will be, I will let you know about that information, right? And, that's basically it. So, instead of me catching the short here, which I failed to do so, just didn't get in, guys. Then obviously I will have to look for the short later on the bounce, whenever that bounce happens. Other scenario, of course, later on, will this be a three-wave structure? The breakdown does not successfully move to lower levels in a wave 3, and it ends up getting an epic bounce. Where could that bounce happen? Yeah, we ain't going to speculate on these moves eventually, right? But, obviously, we'll have to wait to detect that. We're just getting the movement down right now as we speak. Bitcoin is moving lower. Higher time frame scenarios is ABC. Fifth wave being in or not. One more high. I'm going to have to participate late if it is going to be bearish in the next coming days. Well, not late. Who really cares, right? In this movement, if you shorted here or if you shorted here, right? So the same scenario in this case, if we can detect that bounce, who cares if you shorted here or if you shorted here? The second short could give you a better entry and a little bit of more confidence, right, in that short, right? So that's a little bit it, guys. I feel like today has been a little bit not too powerful. Forgive me, guys. It hasn't been too powerful. Some days are great. Some days are a bit boring. Last week, we talked about the SFP from this level. We talked about the short from this level. On Monday, we talked about a long here. On Tuesday, we did talk about a short here, but we talked about the epic risk management. And if you did get into the long here, leave some open. Make sure to collect most of your profits at this zone, because a reversal is what we're looking at to happen here. So yeah, it's been exciting. Good risk management here. We did talk about a short. We never got the rejected anyway. So maybe some people, maybe some people got into the short, maybe not. But ultimately, the risk management is most important here. Fair value gap. If you break this zone, you're gonna pop out very likely, right? So yeah, price is moving down right now. I was saying that I did see this range still as a good chance that it is corrective. But at the end of the day, sometimes, you just need to accept the possibilities, also that guideline here with the base channel eventually, right? And that wave 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, the fourth wave already getting a bounce at the top of the channel, and even here at the middle, which is very common for a wave 4. What can I say? It is, there is a chance. I have to say, Jones in the pro community mentioned a very interesting possibility as well, which is looking at all of this as a zigzag move, correction, and another zigzag to the upside here in a double zigzag. I have to say, that is also pretty damn interesting. We can detect this movement up as an impulse, and I'm not sure if Jones is around here on the stream, but it's an interesting take here on a WXY, which you're like getting into the limit level here as well. I would really consider this scenario if we end up getting a sideways corrective structure here, whatever, and then we start pumping in an impulse in the next coming days. You know, my mission is to detect that 5-wave move up, to look for the 5th wave exhaustion into levels of resistance, to speculate in a short, either an SFP or the weekly naked point of control. And I kind of like this scenario. I kind of, it looks interesting for a double zigzag, and this would be kind of perfect to pump, entering into next week into the FOMC, FOMC economic, press conference, and also the interest rate decision, which, there's a lot of speculation right now on, the odds, if there's going to be the cuts or no cuts. And, apparently there is going to be. And what has happened throughout the previous months, guys, which is very interesting, is we have usually pumped into the interest rate decision in the last few months. And then, then we got a dump. So I kind of feel that there's too many people talking about this BS already, right? It pisses me off, because the more people that talks about it, then, we're probably going to dump before it or absolutely fly after it, right? We're going to do something different. But apparently when we had the interest rate decision, we got a dump back in September, also in October, and then we dumped down. We pumped into the event. And, people are speculating on this right now. We've pumped into the event, and after the event, we would move down, which, if you were to form that WXY coming into the weekly naked point of control, coming into the anchored VWAP zone, right, which we do have right over here. Where's the anchored VWAP? Where are you? And I have to say that movement on a double zigzag, I have to give credit to Joan here, because in the Legends Pro community, I would give it one of the options, but we need more information. I need more information for that to give it later on the highest probability, right? Where you got that zigzag move to the upside, 3-wave structure down in your wave X, and then that movement up. I mean, there is a problem with this, which is a little bit of lower probability, because your wave X was a little bit too deep. When you hit below the golden pocket on a wave X, it gets below the golden pocket to the 70% Fibonacci, to be a little bit more specific. If you have a zigzaggy move up, and then your corrective wave X gets below golden pocket at the 70% Fibonacci of your wave W, it decreases the chance for a double zigzag, because it's too deep. They do happen, but not as often as a X wave hitting 382 or 50% Fibonacci in a double zigzag. So, I would consider this as a little bit lower probability, but I would give it an option. If you were to correct down here and form one more high, I would give the double zigzag a possibility coming into resistance to try and predict and short the 5th wave that comes into the 95, 96K level. In simple terms, this 96K zone is resistance, guys. If you want to short it, well, then go ahead, right? what can I say? But I'm just trying to technically, explain on how we could move there, and it's important to understand how we get up there, because, if this ends up being a double 1-2, and your 3rd wave explodes out 1-2, 1-2, right, and then double zigzag, and then this continues breaking out through this resistance. And, you know, this ends up being a 1-2, 1-2 third wave, and third wave is absolutely crushing it here and getting above 100K. You know, it's very, very important to understand how we get up there on the latest move to really see if we're getting exhaustion, which, you know, technically speaking, you want to see that 5-wave momentum on the 15-minute time frame into resistance. You need to see that bigger wave with a higher volume already being developed in the middle, and you're getting exhausted on the latest move, right? Which is, you know, it's literally this movement that we've got since Monday, but on a lower time frame. It's the same thing, right? You need that wave 1, scenario 2, 3, big wave up. That's the moment where you understand that this is the zone where it's going to, you know, you're looking for a reversal, taking out the high again or not. You are looking for a reversal here in this zone, because your biggest move has happened in the middle, and most commonly your wave 3 is the move with the highest amount of volume and the biggest move. So, you know, in a nutshell, if it were to turn out to be a zigzag up, you know, I need to see some kind of a 5-wave move here to the upside, just very, very similar to this one. And that's the moment where, yeah, we're looking for that reversal point. But I need the 5-wave move just like we got here since Monday. We need some kind of a move like this one, but here, right? You know, I just want to explain that, guys, because I know a lot of people, you know, are very much brain dead, and they're just like, you know, screw this crap, just tell me when to short, when to long, right? And it's not as easy as this is resistance and it's the short. You know, you need to pay attention on what's happening and how we got up there. How did we get up there, right? How did we get up there is what is important. Anyway, enough is enough. Yeah, I'm just talking about bearish case scenarios. Obviously, the bullish case scenario, I would love to see some kind of a, you know, proportion in you know, corrective structure after this 5th wave finishes, which could be in, as mentioned. You know, there is a chance that it could be in, and it's either going to be impulse down, 3-wave structure up. I'm joining. I want to join just like this one here, right? I want to join the 3rd wave. I want to join this movement. I want to join the big one, the big boy, right? So eventually it could move down correctively and get massive overlap. You know, your 3rd wave down failed to get continuation to the downside in a 4 and 5, you know, in former 5-wave structure, and your 3rd wave ends up getting a massive bounce. You know, this is the same explanation on the 1-hourly time frame that we discussed yesterday, where we identified, I'm going to say we, that the highs are likely going to be taken because you formed a 3-wave move to the downside, which your 3rd wave did not break down and get continuation to develop an impulse. Your 3rd wave stopped right over here, and it got a bounce to take out the lower highs locally. And, you know, yesterday it was like, guys, you know, there's just a good chance that we take out the highs. You know, it doesn't matter how we get up there, what range we could form, but what we're looking at here is a corrective structure in this zone because of this 3-wave move. Either sideways a little bit longer, a flat, then triangle, then whatever, right? It doesn't matter. There's multiple ways of ranging, but the probabilities are higher to take out the high. So this explanation from this is, you know, if you get that 3-wave down in the next coming days, looking at the 15-minute 1-hourly time frame, and the 3rd wave fails to get that 4th and 5th and gets a massive pump, you know, into this range, you know, the correction here is going to be golden to look for longs. You know, this is kind of the inverted head and shoulder pattern thing, right? Which you can also, you know, look into adding up if you wish. So yeah, we just need that. We need to get out of this zone, guys. You know, I've had it with this area. I'm in no trade, and I want to get into a trade, but I'm not rushing it. Okay, not rushing it. Managed to long, managed to short. No, you know, it got into short as well yesterday, and then it got stopped out. And no trade at the moment, legends. Remember, if you are interested in trading, guys, Bluffin is an absolutely awesome platform, okay? It's absolutely great. Highly liquid. You got some great perks down below, guys. They are affiliate links down below in the description. Look at this. What is going on right now with Bluffin? Absolutely insane with the campaign that they are providing at the moment. I'm sure there is a limit. But yeah, absolutely golden. Okay, you got also some great perks with BTCC, and these are, you know, my favorite exchanges that I use. And I mainly use Bluffin, I have to be honest. So you got some great perks, guys. I think you only need an email and a password to get into these exchanges. And yeah, make sure to take advantage of those perks with the affiliate links down below. Decentralized platform as well, guys. If anybody doesn't want a middleman, you got Velto. Velto is the new Hyperliquid. Okay, anybody that, you know, wants to get into the decentralized world, you know, you have Velto, which is a very strong upcoming decentralized platform. I've tested it out. It worked great. And there's no middleman. You just connect your wallet. You have full custody of your funds, which is absolutely great. So check out Velto, guys, for anybody that is interested. Yeah, that's a little bit it, guys. A little bit of the explanation. I'm a little bit sitting on my hands at the moment. Let me know if you are feeling bullish or if you're feeling bearish. We need to get some polls. Gold sell trade active. Can someone send Bitty some of Visor Blues? Yeah, good one, man. Gotta get in the zone, out of zone. It is true. This is some good TA 100. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, well, I mean, if it were to be good, I would have a proper setup, right? We've been getting some good setups in the last, you know, couple of weeks. There's been some detectable trades. Yesterday, the only thing that I could provide was there's a high probability that we take out the high, guys. Just stay up, you know, trade responsibly. There was a good chance that we were going to take out the local highs yesterday, right? Based on this move, you know, whatever. We talked about many scenarios that the range could continue. You could test the low again and then move up, which it finally did, right? After the next day, you know, highs were tested. Well, it was just the highest probability. You just need to understand that the range could continue. So you just need to manage risk accordingly, depending on if you want to get into a local long, right, to test the highs and get out. And today, man, I need more information, I have to say. I need more information. It's one of those movements that you say, yes, this could be the high, but also, yes, this could still be a wave 4 and take out the high here. So I don't want to participate in this speculation because I'm a little bit 50-50 in this zone. I would rather wait for a dump down and the bounce and study what's happening next. And if we do get that movement up at some point, regardless, I don't care where it starts. I need to detect a 5 waver from wherever the low is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where the low is. I need to detect some kind of a 5 waver on this sideways structure. And obviously the 5th wave coming into point of control, and then that's the moment of decision taking. If you move up in a big move, you correct. And then you form a bigger move that doesn't have a stop, because it's important to get the stop, the 4 and 5, into the resistance to take the decision. If you fly through the levels, which is I don't think it's going to happen, but it's all management, right? It's all risk management. If you move up like this, consolidate, and then you do this, this is not a moment to really wanting to short a big massive pump, which is, if it increases with volume, you need that 5-wave structure. There's no more to it, guys. It is what it is. You need to get what is needed. If you don't get it, then there's no trade, at least for me anyway. Let's go through Andy, super chat. Much love, brother. We have a super chat. Let's go. Andy, please check DM after live from Oliver. I will do, my man. Okay. I will check out the DMs. Yeah, my DMs are absolutely insane. The DMs are insane. Bear market, says Nelson. Good point. Andy, remember we were excited at the same time last year going altcoin shopping, Fowler Network, Link, Ethereum, chat storming with spam retailers asking for analysis on their alts. Man, good old days. Very true. Very, very true. Thankfully, Fowler Network was one of them that I managed to get out in profit. It was 1 out of 3. I can remember on the top of my head. Fowler Network, PRQ, and there was another one. Constellation DAG. You need to be faster than John Wayne. You just need to be fast. The rest of this, man, oof. I don't know what happened to this. I still hold a bit of a bag here, but what can I say? As you said last year, these were the times. These were the times. The target for Fowler Network, apart from leaving a moon bag open, right, to go to infinite prices and let's all make 100x and get rich, which is we never do that talk, okay? We never do that talk. You know that I'm very skeptical on altcoins. But this was the zone and this was the exit zone. I did manage to sell over 50% of my bags on Fowler Network here, which was just above 4x. So I just managed to make some profits from the average buying zone. It did over a 6x. And there was many that I did not take profit, guys. PRQ, I remember as well. I mean, this feels like yesterday. Targets are targets. I'm getting the alerts on my phone and I need to sell these bags. This was the zone. Look at that. This was the area. Get out here, right? Take out the highs. I don't know what's going to happen. And the other one was Constellation DAG. Let's be honest. With the only coins, oh man, this is absolutely nuking. What's going on with this one? Yeah, I still have a bag from this zone, which eventually is in the negative now. What can we do? But the take profit was this high, right over here, when we talked about this buying zone back in last year in the day. And those are the only 3 altcoins, right? The rest of them have gone down the toilet, guys. What can we say? We can't lie about it. It's true. ICP, I managed to get almost my investment back with that pump that we got a few weeks ago. Luckily, right? We need to get out, guys. I like to protect my capital. When I'm at a loss, I don't like it. There's no bueno, right? Nobody likes it. And I know this is a ferocious market. A lot of people have got wrecked, especially with that event that we had on the 10th of October, man. Oh my goodness. Be cautious, guys. This ain't a market to play around. Holy smokes. This event on altcoins got, not this one. What am I talking about? This one. Was it that one? Oh yeah, it was. That was the 10th of October. This event was, oh my goodness. That's when my ICP was going down the toilet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm down 30k on this. That's not nice. It's not nice. Same man, Fowler and PRQ, my best bags. Great call by you, legend. It was. I mean, Cadena was I'm at a loss on Cadena, especially now, which is I never got to sell Cadena. It wasn't that much. Okay, it wasn't that much. But yeah, this for me was a loss, guys. We don't only talk about the wins. Whoever only talks about wins, yeah, it can piss off. You know, I mean, this was actually some pretty interesting profits. Okay, not massive, but you know, they were pretty good. The target on Cadena, which from a bag that I bought in this zone, I mean, obviously this is completely lost, guys. This is me personally. I mean, obviously I'm sharing what I was doing. Well, this one missed the highs by a few cents where I wanted to take profit. Constellation DAG hit the March of 2024 highs. Fowler Network did. PRQ did. Some of them did not reach, such as Cadena, by a very small percentage. And yeah, this is like what can we do? You know, this is why you need to diversify. You need to be ferocious on the ones that are giving you the chance to take profit, because if not, the market's going to kick you out. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Alts have been beaten badly. Yeah, this is why they say, you know, there is a saying that Bitcoin is the only one, right? Bitcoin is the one. I'm down 6K across a few positions. It's not good. It's not good looks. I know, my man. Congrats, your TAs from Lisbon, Portugal. What's your thought about e-gold and Pi? I have no thought on that. I kind of given up on altcoins. And I'm here to trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that I want to, you know, scratch some dollars. Bitcoin's the one that I want to trade. I want to try and make some gains on Bitcoin. And that's the one that, you know, we're looking for some opportunities. I kind of, you know, given up on altcoins. I got a bag and whatever happens, happens. But we are here to trade Bitcoin. And at the moment, I'm not in no position. I've explained a little bit throughout the stream what I need to see and how I'm going to position myself in the next trade, which is either getting that pump to possibly have a fifth wave in. You've got still that 3-wave scenario and an ABC or a 1-2-1-2. Looking for a reversal in this zone. We are looking for a reversal. The overall question is the high in? The high could be in. We've got one more push up. That's the moment that I would be interested in shorting into big levels of resistance. And depending on the movement down, 3-wave move, corrective, up. This looks insane if we get this kind of price action where we are going to be speculating on either a 1-2-1-2-3 or a zigzag up, W, X, zigzag, Y into resistance and then down. But, you know, we want a long in this area based on the information. And if it ends up being a pretty strong impulsive move up with a very, very choppy bounce, it's going to be time to, you know, short and just continue the downtrend. That's a little bit of the drawing here. That's a little bit of the plan. We did go a little bit in detail before, but that is literally it, legends. Thank you very much for joining today's stream and smashing up that like button. Let's see how many likes we do have here before we end the stream. Thank you for subscribing. Today was no major local opportunities, guys. I have to say, I'm sorry. You know, there is a chance of taking out the highs. I do favor it. There is a chance of dumping down. New information will be given that will give a little bit more clarity throughout tomorrow. I will be providing a video update in the morning and later on a live stream to see if the new information gives us a few clear local setups on the 15-minute, right? But now we had to zoom out on the 1 hourly and say, guys, you know, move up, then down, move down, bounce, you know, depending on what happens. You know, we have to give it a day, right? Legends, thank you very much, okay? If we get below 90K, the FVG flush below that play out. Very true. Thanks for the update. Very welcome. Staff 1, yes, sir. Yo, yes, oh, yes. Thanks, guys, for joining. Have a safe night, safe day, safe trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow.